my name is Sean, or Deity, Deity7 on Twitter and Twitch, Deity. I'm one of the influencer relations managers with StackUp. What I do is I work with content creators to do fundraising for our veterans charity with StackUp.org. A little more about StackUp.org. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We focus on veterans' mental health and suicide prevention, and we do that all through gaming and geek culture. So basically things like PAX and everything that exists here are things that we're using to make the worst thing in a veteran's mind maybe the last thing in their mind, and keep as many of them here with us as we can. So a few things that content creators can do, and anybody can really do this, but content creators specifically, whether you're on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube or one of the other platforms, is you can put together a fundraiser. You'll talk to one of us, we'll set you up on Donor Drive or Tiltify, whatever you prefer. We'll get you all of the assets, all of the branding, all of the overlays, really try to set you up for success, as well as educate you about our programs, so that when you go out there and you go live, you're not out there empty-handed. You always have us to rely on, you always have us to ask questions for and help you troubleshoot. We'll help you plan your event if that's something that you'd like to do. We know that some content creators are like, you know what, got the link, thanks, I know what I'm doing, and we love you for that. Some of the things that we do for the content creators that raise money for us, we don't care if you raise $5 or $5,000, we're gonna thank you for that because you're telling people about what we do for veterans. But if you do raise a certain amount of money, we have things like t-shirts and water bottles that we want to give to you for that thank you. But we also have supply crates that you and your community can sponsor at $1,000 and $3,000 for people that raise that much. We also have retrofit PCs that we send to a veteran at $6,000 this year, as well as at $20,000 if people can raise that much money on their charity event throughout the entire year. They sponsor what's called an aerosol, which is where we take veterans to places like PAX East and we give them an all expenses paid trip here, VIP experiences, let them meet developers, maybe a favorite cosplayer, maybe a celebrity, give them that real, maybe that's something that they couldn't have afforded on their own, or maybe they wouldn't have done it because of social anxiety or their PTSD. We provide that safety bubble for them. We say this is for you, you get to have this, and they get a great experience. And then they go back to the Airbnb and play D&D, and they just have a great time when they come out to these events. We're expanding that a little bit. We've got a couple of things that are coming up. We've got something very special that we're going to announce soon about our Phalanx project. I know that Geeky Panda actually just had off camera had just asked me about our van that we have. We have a van that is going to play into what's going on with our Phalanx project out there in California. So that's some of the things that you guys are going to be able to help us work towards to help veterans. That's what content creators do for us. Last year in 2021, we raised $1.2 million in cash. $801,000 of that cash came from content creators in their communities. I can't overstate that enough. That's such an impact that you guys have made, and I can't thank you guys enough for doing it. Well, a couple things to go along with that. So with 2020 and 2021, the pandemic has hit pretty hard. We weren't able to do our aerosol program, at least not to the capacity that we had before. The world shut down. So we just ramped up everything else that we did. We doubled up the amount of supply crates we were sending out. We jumped into the retrofit program again to get custom-made PCs out to veterans through that. So we did a few things that, even though we couldn't do part of our programs during COVID, we were still out there doing the other things, and you guys were still doing things directly for veterans. So we just amped up the other programs. Along with that, we saw an increase in our suicide prevention program. We have more influx, people coming in. Because during the pandemic, people were more isolated. Because of you guys, people knew about what we offered as far as our STOP program and our suicide prevention program. So we have an influx of that. So that program has grown. Fortunately, we've been able to expand to capture the folks that are coming in for that. But these are all just ways that COVID and the pandemic has impacted us the last few years. As of the fall, we're back to doing events. We're back to taking veterans out to really cool, awesome places. We're still sending out the same amount of supply crates. Probably going to send out more this year. You guys have been doing an awesome job out there for content creation, raising $1,000 and $3,000 to get those supply crates sponsored by you and your communities, and we'd love to see it.
What kind of other events and outreach programs do you guys do for StackUp when it comes to not only the gaming world, but in real life as well?
So we have a program called the Stacks, and the Stacks are localized communities. These are people who are civilians, maybe they're spouses, maybe they're active duty, they're at military bases or large cities. And you can look on our website and look at a map of where those are, and you might have one near you, and you've got a contact information so that what they do is they'll have localized events. Even during the pandemic, we were doing community service operations. We still had people doing things like that, even if it was raking up stuff, doing just regular community service stuff. But we also have game nights in our Discord. We try to get community together virtually if we can't do it physically. And when we can do it physically, those stacks are out there at little events, setting up a mini booth, giving people literature, letting people know what we do for veterans. wearing the red shirt, showing off out there. So if that's something that you're interested in and you don't have a stack near you, we're always looking to develop and grow more stacks. And so we have a community manager, Liz Finnegan, that you can talk to. I'll give Geeky the card so that he'll have that information in his back pocket. He can put that out there for Liz Finnegan, and that would be the person to talk to about the stacks. But that's what we do outside of that, on the volunteer side.
When it comes to the drop crates, who or what organization gets those drop crates?
So any veteran can get one of those supply crates. The supply crates go to, now a lot of people will say, well, you're not really deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan anymore, and that is also true. But however, we still have ships that are underway. We have people that are stationed abroad. We have Marines stationed at embassies all over the place, humanitarian missions that take place all over the world. We do search and rescue operations all throughout areas like Djibouti or parts of Africa, as well as just people who are just stationed abroad, Korea and Germany and places like that. On top of that, we don't just serve veterans who are serving in, we have veterans who are also out of service after that. So it could be somebody sitting at home on their couch or just looking for a way to reconnect with family, or maybe an old battle buddy from the military, and we will try to connect those folks. So that's part of what that supply crate is supposed to do. It just be a mental health boost, put a controller or a game in their hand. I've seen families connect with families just because that's a thing that veterans really need when they come back from service. Sometimes they have a hard time reintegrating into that civilian life. I've seen dads get to play video games with their little kids. That's something that connected them, that we were able to help support that. But that's the impact that those supply crates can make.
What has been the positives that
Sure.
the Overwatch program has brought with the mental health that you guys are?
Sure.
There we go.
Well, to talk about the positive, I guess you talk about the negative first. We have a greater influx of people coming in to use those services, and so that is obviously it's dealing with the pandemic. Veterans who are isolated are further isolated during the pandemic, especially early on. So we saw an influx of people actually using our services. But some of that is also because people just know that it exists. And the more that people know that it exists, and it exists on Discord, which everybody has, it's very ubiquitous. And you can slide in there if you're over the age of 18, even if you're not a veteran, and just say, I need help. Right now I'm in crisis and I need help. We have volunteers that are HIPAA certified that can help de-escalate, try to find you some local services. We have a duty to warn and a clinical board, so if we think someone's going to hurt themselves or someone else, we can elevate that to our clinical board. But that's been the impact, and so we have seen the influx of people during the pandemic, but we've also seen our growth and our ability to match that and meet those veterans where they are, or meet those people who are entering into our care where they are. So if you're a content creator out there, you're on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or Trovo or wherever it is that you make content, or you just want to do something within a community, or you got a community of gamers, we can set you up to actually do a fundraising event. We'd absolutely love to have you guys come out. We will get you fully supported. You can talk to myself, Deity, talk to Perky Daisy, talk to Tater S. Any one of the three of us will get you guys in the right direction. We'll get you all the overlays. We'll make sure we educate you guys on the programs. We don't leave you hanging. We're going to give you everything that we can possibly give you so that you can have your most successful charity stream that you can have. We want you guys to go live and have fun, communicate with your community, and do some good job, or raise some funds for veterans. That's what we're doing out here. But that's how you can find us. And you can go to our website, stackup.org, or our Twitter account, stackupdot.org. Stackupdot.org on all social media is our @ there, so that's our handle. Come find us. We'd love to have you on board for Cold Arms 7 this year.